What's up, squaddies? Sending major love your way? You all mean the world to me. It's Daily Diaries Friday, and you know what that means. Good vibes, real talk and lifting each other up. Smash that like button, drop a comment, hit subscribe, and let's get into it. Wimbledon's opening week usually serves as the royal family's most carefree annual photo op: strawberries, sunshine, and the inevitable shot of whichever Windsor deigns to wave from the royal box. This year, though, the tennis crowds held a special, mildly desperate vigil. Would the ever-vanishing Princess of Wales finally show her carefully coiffed head among the mortals? In the end, no. After a conspicuous no-show at Royal Ascot, and after 2 full weeks of radio silence from her hyper-paid Kensington Palace press machine, Kate opted to materialise in a safer, more stage-managed environment, a manicured garden behind Colchester Hospital. Let me translate the court circular jargon for you. Wimbledon is full of long lenses and uncontrollable angles. Whereas a sealed-off hospital courtyard lets Team Cambridge set the lighting, rehearse the smiles, and preposition the children's choir for maximum tear-jerking effect. From a pure PR perspective, the move is almost insulting in its transparency. We've been told for months that Kate's brand new normal involves struggling privately and focusing on her health, as though luxury mother of 3, TM, were a protected class deserving indefinite compassionate leave. Yet the second she needs a sympathetic headline, she pulls on her safest blazer, calls for a hospital backdrop, and trots out the same talking points about new normals and rollercoaster recoveries. One can't shake the suspicion that the only real rollercoaster here is the frantic mood board inside KP's communications bunker. Today, a cancer champion, tomorrow a sports patron, next week perhaps a weepy podcast guest. Versatility, darling. Worse, the palace still refuses to settle on a consistent explanation for her multiple disappearances. First, it was routine treatment, then post-treatment fatigue, then the heat might be too much. Finally, let's respect her privacy. The contradictions are so glaring that even the most deferential royal correspondents can't keep them straight. If Kate had simply issued a straightforward medical update just once, she might have silenced half the speculation that now dogs her every step. Instead, we're caught in an endless loop of semi-credible palace leaks and suspiciously timed cameo appearances, each one engineered to make us feel guilty for asking perfectly reasonable questions about a taxpayer-funded public figure. Consider the wording she chose at Colchester. You're not able to function normally at home as you perhaps once used to. Excuse me? Exactly how normally did home county's royal life ever function? Most Britons muddle through their chemo recoveries without fleets of nannies, private chefs and chauffeured SUVs. By contrast, Kate's calendar since January reads like the wish list of an influencer on sabbatical mustique in February, Norfolk in March, a mystery break in April, and long weekends in Windsor whenever the mood strikes. She has perfected the soft life aesthetic, cashmere tracksuits, curated wellness gardens, curated Instagram posts about said gardens, while still expecting the global press to treat her fleeting 30-minute charity visits as acts of saintly self-denial. And let's not pretend her latest wardrobe moment was some spur-of-the-moment re-wear triumph. That blaze Milano blazer has become the sartorial equivalent of a homework excuse. Bring it out whenever Kate wants to telegraph seriousness without surrendering the influencer shine. Pair it with a Ralph Lauren blouse, conveniently echoing Meghan's 2018 Wimbledon look, and top the ensemble off with white Vejas sneakers, a brand Meghan wore to death before Kate discovered sustainable chic. Are we meant to applaud the copy-and-paste styling as evidence of principled thrift? Please, call it what it is. A calculated bid to siphon whatever leftover fashion credibility still clings to the Sussex brand, minus the inconvenience of acknowledging the very woman who pioneered the look. Even the hospital garden itself felt less like a place of healing and more like a stage set. Notice how Kate's team arranged for perfect midsummer lighting, tasteful flower beds in the background, and benches positioned just so. Cynical, perhaps, But these micro details matter when the palace's sole mission is to generate content for royal social channels. The princess sits, gazes empathetically at a nurse, adjusts her cuff with a practiced flick that conveniently highlights her diamond eternity bracelet, then murmurs something about resilience. Cue the carefully cropped Instagram reel within the hour. Like it, share it, forget it. Job done. Meanwhile, actual cancer survivors across Britain struggle to secure basic follow-up appointments because the NHS is chronically underfunded. Yet here's Kate using an NHS garden as a lifestyle photoshoot backdrop while lecturing the public on finding a new normal. Have her speechwriters ever set foot inside a cramped radiotherapy waiting room? Have they smelled the industrial disinfectant that clings to your clothes after a day of chemo? Doubtful. But why bother with realism when a sanitized version plays better on TikTok? The palace's spin doctors will counter that Kate's presence raises awareness. Awareness of what exactly? That modern royals treat charitable engagement as an intermittent side hustle, surfacing only when the optics align with their image management cycles. That duty now means ducking the big stage, Wimbledon, in favour of controlled micro-events where questions are pre-screened and the lighting never casts an unflattering shadow. If the princess genuinely wanted to elevate the conversation around survivorship, she might publish concrete statistics on patient outcomes, lobby for increased oncology funding or, heaven forbid, acknowledge the systemic inequalities that make her own recovery experience a gilded outlier. Instead, we get bland platitudes packaged as profound wisdom. It's a roller coaster. No kidding your royal vagueness. And then there's the ever-present Big Blue, a sapphire ring that once belonged to Diana and now serves as Kate's all-purpose brand anchor. Its reappearance at Colchester was no accident. Nothing involving that ring ever is. Royal strategists know its sentimental heft buys Kate a few extra inches of column space and acts as a Pavlovian trigger for those nostalgic for the 1980s fairy tale narrative. But sentimentality can't mask the uncomfortable truth. Diana, for all her flaws, actually revolutionized public perceptions of illness and stigma by visiting AIDS wards at the height of the epidemic. Kate, by contrast, dabbles in well-being gardens so curated that no one within a 5-mile radius looks remotely unwell. Let's also address the awkward timing. By resurfacing on July 2nd, just as the Wimbledon press pens sharpen, the palace hopes the public will applaud her work ethic rather than notice she still hasn't committed to the tournament she supposedly adores. If she does eventually grace centre court, expect another pious briefing that doctors advised a limited schedule, thereby preempting criticism when she departs after one match to recuperate in yet another undisclosed rural safe house. In other words, maximum visibility when applause is guaranteed, minimum vulnerability when probing questions might arise. Ultimately, the people most let down by this charade are ordinary cancer patients who look to prominent survivors for solidarity, not self-serving pageantry. Kate's refusal to publish consistent health updates fosters rumours far worse than any straightforward medical bulletin could. Her reluctance to appear in public unless every variable is stage-managed signals that convalescence is something to hide, not confront. And her tendency to treat every engagement as a micro-fashion show dilutes whatever genuine empathy she occasionally displays. Is it unfair to expect more depth from a princess groomed since adolescence for public life? Perhaps, but if she claims the authority to speak candidly about illness, she also inherits the responsibility to do so with clarity, transparency, and yes, some uncomfortable specificity. Until that day arrives, the rest of us will continue passing her wardrobe choices and press office half-truths, wondering which version of Kate will appear next, and how long she'll let the cameras roll before retreating behind palace gates. None of this is to deny that recovery is exhausting, but exhaustion is not an all-purpose cloak against accountability. Real leadership, especially in matters of health advocacy, demands more than sporadic garden strolls and recycled sound bites. It demands sustained engagement, clear metrics, and an honest reckoning with privilege. Until the Princess of Wales can muster that level of candour, her cultivated image of stoic resilience remains just that: cultivated, curated, and ultimately hollow. So yes, Wimbledon began without its most photogenic regular, and somehow Centre Court survived. The tournament's grass is still green, the serves still thunder, and the world keeps spinning despite Kate's strategic absence. The longer she relies on pop-up pity tours instead of substantive transparency, the longer she forfeits any moral high ground her title might have afforded. And if that sounds harsh, remember this: public figures don't get to claim limitless sympathy on demand while rationing accountability like a limited edition handbag drop. If Kate truly wants to rewrite the script of modern royalty, she'll need to do a lot more than recycle blazers and buzzwords. She'll need to show up, speak plainly, and stay long enough for the press, not her PR team, to ask the questions that matter. Until then, the skepticism she's facing isn't cruel, it's earned. And that's a wrap, squaddies. Thank you so much for watching and being part of this amazing journey. You guys are the best, and I love you all. Your support means the world to me, honestly. If you had a good time, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're the first to catch our next adventure. Drop your thoughts, questions, or even just a quick hello in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Share this with your friends, your family, or anyone who could use a little inspiration. Until next time, stay awesome, stay motivated, stay safe, and yeah, keep shining. Catch you later, squaddies.